understand that is why people are towards you, you will never ever sink to anybody's level, ever.
Recommend any skin product. I'm a newbie gym girl and I'm constantly breaking out from sweating and exercising. Having a skincare routine is important to...
Oh, I like this one. This is deep. One tip you would give to your younger self. We're going to be here all night.
allow yourself to really experience that, because it's not going to last forever. Newbie will see results quicker than someone advanced.
3 to 6 weeks, you'll see instant progress. It will help you 1, stay more motivated, 2, show you what is working, and 3, show you what isn't.
We are back with another episode.
And today we're answering more of your questions. As always, your questions have been flying in and we have been working our way through them slowly but steadily. Yeah. And we're trying to answer them to the best of our ability. So here we are with more.
Let's jump right into it.
Drum roll, please. Question number 1. What recommendations do you have for supplements as a gym goer? This includes all supplements, I assume.
Yeah, so I suppose protein powder, creatine.
Yes.
Take protein powder and creatine.
I'd also probably say magnesium.
Oh yes, I do take magnesium. Oh, you know that better than I know that.
I sold it to you.
Yeah.
They're probably the main ones, I would say as well. You want to be taking protein powder if you're not reaching your daily requirements through natural food sources, that is. You do not need it if you're eating enough protein in your diet. It is not a necessity. Just because everybody takes it doesn't always mean they need it. So maybe track your protein for a short space of time to roughly see how much you eat. If you are heavily under eating the amount you need, and after trying to increase it you're still struggling for your diet, then that's when you get protein powder.
Think of it as a boost, not a must.
Exactly. Creatine as well, something that's really good, helps obtain more muscle mass, good for your performance, increases your energy. This is something that I actually don't take, but that is because of underlying health conditions, not because of any other reason. If I could, I would.
I take it. You can take it in powder form or tablet form. Do what works best for you. I always found it harder to take it in powder form, so I transitioned to tablets thinking that that would be easier. It is definitely not easier. You have to take I take about 6 tablets this large, long-winded, to take them every day.
Yes.
Unless you love swallowing tablets, in which case take the tablet version. Be mindful of how much creatine you are consuming as well. It will differ between tablets. There's monohydrate.
Yes, that's the one you want.
Yeah, exactly. So don't be taking anything that's not, otherwise it's just ineffective at that point.
Exactly. On that note as well, I would say magnesium's another really good one that we both take. It's really good for fatigue, for muscle soreness. It's also really good for maintaining normal blood pressure. It's also an essential electrolyte that is really useful. Magnesium has so many properties and is definitely something that is worth taking. Always check with a GP beforehand. You can get magnesium in a lot of foods, things like almonds, a lot of nuts, a lot of cacao powders, things like that. They all have magnesium in them, but it is hard to obtain enough from your diet sometimes, depending on what you eat. So a supplement could be quite a good thing. I know magnesium glycinate is trending all over TikTok at the minute. There are different types of magnesium, so glycinate is very popular. That is specifically very good for helping relieve anxiety, helping you sleep better. You've also got the form in citrate, which is also very good, also helps things like bowel movements. So that could be another alternative. But all in all magnesiums have the same properties, which help your muscles and help energy. So it doesn't matter too much. Only thing I will tell you is when it comes to any supplement, powder will always be the most effective form. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't take capsules because capsules will still work and they're a lot more convenient. People just prefer them. It's just done. However, if you want to get the most out of a supplement, then the one thing you need to do is take it in powdered form. You can get them unflavoured, so you can whack it in your tea or coffee. That's what I do in the morning. Half a teaspoon of magnesium into my coffee and you're done for the day.
That's definitely a benefit of powders, is that in spite of me not thinking this at one point, they are easier to take because you can take them with other products.
Blitz it in a shake.
Yeah, in a shake, it in yogurt. I wouldn't advise taking lots and lots of supplements. See them as a boost, if anything.
Yeah.
They're never going to replace a healthy lifestyle, a healthy diet.
Exactly. 3 to 5 grams of magnesium and creatine is enough. You don't need to overdo it. Always check with your doctor or a GP before consuming anything.
Next question.
Boom.
Question number 2. Do you recommend any skin products for good skin? I'm a newbie gym girl and I'm constantly breaking out from sweating and exercising. I feel you. I feel your pain. It is very hard to maintain good skin when you're investing so much time in the gym where you're sweating, touching things with bacteria all over them, touching your face without knowing it. There's just so many opportunities for bad skin to come about. Having a skincare routine is important to maintain the health of your skin, but the products you use will determine whether it's worth it or not. There are so many products with really poor ingredients in them that are actually harmful to skin, to human health. Yucca, if you've not got Yucca, that's a brilliant app to use to scan products and it will give you a breakdown of what ingredients are in each product. I've got a Bondi Sands sun cream on here, for example, and the ingredient breakdown is quite poor. So octocrylene is very hazardous to human skin. Phenoxyethanol, I think that's how you say it, that you'll find in quite a lot of skincare products. Ethylhexane salicylate, there you go, that was decent.
There we go.
That I find is in a lot of products as well for skincare. The key is to look at the list of ingredients. The order of which the ingredients are listed will indicate how much of an ingredient is in a product. So the higher up it is in the ingredient list, the higher amount of that there is in the product. A lot of products have loads of water in them. It kind of tells you something about the use of the product sometimes. Anything with alcohol in it, they put it in as a antibacterial, but it's just so strong. It's just quite harmful. If you're going to have a skincare routine, I would definitely advise keeping that as minimal as possible. The most important components of a skincare routine are having some kind of cleanser, being able to moisturize your skin, and sun cream. Cleansing is of course important when you're touching and transferring bacteria onto your skin, so you will need to cleanse it to get rid of harmful bacteria. Moisturizing your skin is really important, especially during the evening, because we sleep for many hours and we're not getting up to hydrate in that time, so our skin loses a lot of moisture in the night. So it's important for that reason to keep it hydrated. Sun cream is of course to protect from the harmful UV rays of the sun. Cause the most skin damage, so it is really important to get a good sun cream to protect yourself. So there's loads recommended on here. On Yucca, for example, Water Lover Sun Milk SPF 30, Sun Lait Delicieux,
I like the accent.
Lait Solaire SPF 30. A lot of these are SPF 30, so I would take that as get factor 30 or higher to properly protect your skin. It's not so much about the brand, it's more about the ingredients they're using.
I feel sorry for people because nowadays there's so many skincare products on shelves online, and I get exactly why people would have no idea what ones to go for because there are just so many. And I'd be the same. I don't really use anything anymore. I used to use CeraVe a lot, a few things from The Ordinary and from the Inky List. I was spending so much money on it and it was good, but it was only working whilst I used it. I found that usually once I ran out and I'd have to go a day or two without, I'd break out quite instantly. So I just kind of binned skincare altogether. That does not mean don't look after your skin, because you still need to wash it and you still need to take good care of it.
There is an interesting thought actually with skincare. There's a quote made on one of Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO podcast, which is that if you won't eat it, then don't put it on your skin, because the skin is a living organism. So anything you're putting on it is quite literally being consumed by your body, and it will impact your health.
It's so interesting. It really is. There's quite a lot of things diet-wise you can do for your skin.
Absolutely.
If you increase your vitamin C intake,
your hydration, most importantly.
Your hydration, exactly that.
Yeah.
You're thriving. You know, eat your leafy greens, eat your citrusy fruits.
Being mindful of how you're touching your face is really important. A really, really big part of this is the pillowcases that you lay your head on each night. Make sure you're regularly washing those pillowcases because they just transfer so much bacteria. Moving on to our next question.
Question number 3. Oh, I like this one. This is deep.
Ooh, hit me.
What's one tip you would give to your younger self? Ooh. Simple but so effective.
You want to kick this one off?
I think we're going to be here all night. There's so many.
But it's one, Abby, it's one.
I think the biggest thing, don't take everything so personally.
Good one.
So it's nothing to do with fitness, but as a general life lesson, the more you realise that everybody you meet is a reflection of yourself, the happier you'll actually be. This has come from one, not that I'm really old, but enough experience from certain events in my life and from reading a lot of self-transformation books, which I love. One of the best books I've ever read, and I really, really recommend everybody, including you, especially you, to read, is The Mountain Is You by Brianna West.
Yes.
That book, I'll be dramatic to say it changed my life, but God did it try. But back to the point. Never really take anything personally, because all people do is project.
Therefore, nothing is personal.
The way somebody reacts to you will always tell you more about themselves than it will do about you. The more unsatisfied you are with yourself, the more you will project that onto somebody else. People don't like to feel shitty about themselves. So if somebody's doing well and they're not, they're going to try and make you feel just as shitty so you can sink to their level. If you understand that nothing is personal and that is why people are shitty towards you, you will never ever sink to anybody's level, ever. And you will always maintain your level because you have that common understanding. Chances are you're highlighting something in them that they don't like about themselves.
It really is abstract. It always is going to be. You're never going to be inside somebody else's head. So the concept of understanding that people reflect things and you too reflect things onto others is really hard to grasp. But it is true. The actions of others and the words of others reflect far more about themselves than it will ever reflect about anybody else. And the same goes for you. It's just something to be mindful of, and the importance of not taking things personally, therefore, is true. Because otherwise you're just giving your power away to things that have just got nothing to do with you.
Exactly, and that is why people that may not like me specifically or have a problem with me, I never wish anything bad on them. And I'm not just saying that because there's a camera sitting in front of me. I genuinely mean that. I genuinely hope they do well and that they're happy. And the reason that is because the happier they are, the less likely they'll be miserable and mean. It's as simple as that. Wish good on the people that do you bad, never sink to anybody's level, and never take anything personally. That is my piece of advice.
To younger you. Very nice.
I say that like I'm 30 or something. But...
No, you're a living person. You're not just invalid because you're not old.
No.
Or like older. It's fine. Oh, I've got to give one, haven't I? I think to embrace challenges more, to accept them more. Something I've always found in my life is that challenges arise whether they feel like they should have or not. More often than not, they feel like they should not have been present at different points. But they are, because that's just part of it. That's part of life, is things are going to come your way that are very difficult to deal with. But because I've had so much of that occur, I feel far more resilient now than I ever would have at a younger age. It's part of growing. And if you're able to really reflect on those experiences and connect meaning to them in ways that is important to, then you're able to take more with you than before the situation happened. It's so hard to give a particular example for this. I always like to give you something tangible, but it really is dependent on each person and each individual experience. Let's take the business. That's probably the easiest thing to understand. Say, for example, we're filming a podcast episode and all the footage gets destroyed and it's my fault somehow. Rather than being super, super down on myself for that and being really frustrated at the fact that, oh no, I made a mistake, I can think, okay, how did this happen? What can I learn from it? How can I improve? It's almost corny to say that, but it's so important to remind ourselves that challenges will come about, that mistakes will happen, and they need to happen really in order to grow and be really resilient. If nothing ever happened, then you would not be a very resilient person. Yeah, that's what I would say to my younger self, is just trust the process, allow these things to happen, allow yourself to really experience that, because it's not going to last forever, so long as you choose for that not to be the case.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise I was being so profound.
Is it rose? Yeah. No, it is true. It is. Yeah. You're bang on about what you said in terms of they won't last forever as long as you don't let them. And it's about lingering with those feelings and knowing when to detach.
And take something from it. Even if it's still with you, it can feel less heavy. My brother is actually someone who said this to me, is having anxiety is like having a ball that you're constantly rolling up a hill. You're never going to get rid of the ball, because if you like stop pushing the ball, it will just fall on you. So it's always there, but the more you push it up the hill, the smaller the ball gets. Whether or not you feel like you've really let go of something, for example, or accepted that this was a challenging situation, or this is where I made a mistake. It's neither here nor there. It's just about how you cope with it, how you manage it, and how you move forward with or without it. Moving on to our final question.
Question number 4.
How long does it take to make progress as someone training hypertrophy? We are the perfect people to ask. Okay, so a newbie will see results quicker than someone advanced, which doesn't seem to make sense, but when we explain why, you'll get it.
There's a phrase called newbie gains. Newbie gains is given to those people who have never really trained before and then make quite instant and impactful progress. The reason is because up until the point in which you train, your muscles have little fibers in them, and they don't get torn or stressed much if you're not working out and you're not strength training. You're not using them. So when you suddenly change environment and you start putting all this stress on those muscle fibers, they begin to tear. Now, the more they tear, the more there is a need for recovery
and repair.
And that's why you'll usually hear the phrase tear and repair.
Yeah.
So that's what protein is used for. It's for that repair progress once they've been torn during exercise. Yeah. That's also probably why you've heard the phrase that gains are actually made in the kitchen and not at the gym, because you're tearing those muscles at the gym, but they're not actually growing and building until you're resting and you're eating and you're hydrating.
And you can imagine, as a newbie, if you've never put yourself under that kind of stress before, how much your muscles are going to be repairing and how visually evident that's going to be.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So as you adapt to that more over time, the more of an experienced and advanced you get in that gym.
Kind of goes like this, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. Unless you do some drastic sort of new training program or some drastic new diet or something really huge and different, chances are the progress will be a lot more sort of
Steady.
If you're training consistently and you're eating well at the same time and all of these factors are combining, you can see progress, I would say, from about 3 weeks. 3 to 6 weeks, you'll see instant progress. However, to see more impactful, I'd say around 12 weeks.
Yes, and to continue seeing progress, it's really important to apply progressive overload. If you're not continuing to challenge your muscles, then you're not going to see any growth. It will remain stagnant. You have to keep putting your muscles under these stresses so that they adapt to those stresses by repairing more, and then you see more growth.
It can be very difficult to tell if you've even made progress. There are a lot of different trackers you can use, some that are physical, some that are more performance-based. I think performance-based ones are the best form you can use.
Yeah, I agree.
It's always better to do it in a performance way than it is in a physical way.
But something more dynamic is way more telling than a picture. Something static will ever be.
If you're lifting an extra 20 kilograms than you were from the month before, that's insane. Find a progress method that works best for you and stay consistent with it. It will help you, 1, stay more motivated on your journey, 2, show you what is working, and 3, show you what isn't.
Thank you very much for listening. As always, we really appreciate all your love and support.
Drop us a like, comment, share, subscribe, follow. It does not go unnoticed. We really appreciate every single one of you.
You have been listening to Gains and Gossip.